Smell of the lake. If Betty wasn't working, then maybe she could have smiled, but she was working and there was no reason to smile. Betty stopped walking and dug her feet into the soft muddy ground as she stared out over the large lake. She kept staring, studying every little detail of the lake, from the thick groups of trees that lined the edges of it with their large roots digging into the water, to the sheer glassy stillness of the water. The air was perfectly calm and cold, freezing in fact. Betty wanted to pull her thick fake fur coat over her more to keep her warm, but that would take some of her attention away. She couldn't have that. She had no idea how big the lake was, but considering this was Leybourne Lakes in Kent, England, and one of 4, Betty had a suspicion it was easily the size of a football pitch. The perfect place to hide a body. Well, Betty wasn't sure how true that fact was, but as she listened to the spooky calmness of it all, with only the main road and cars rushing past in the far distance, Betty knew no one would find a body for days. Especially as all the sailing, swimming, and everything else that happened on the lake had been cancelled for the winter months. So Betty raised an eyebrow as she realized a body could easily remain here for another 3 months until April. But by that time Betty had no idea what would be left of the body, maybe the chest and a head, but even they would be badly rotten by then. Betty had to find the body. Her drive only increased as Betty remembered all the tears and crying and screaming she heard from the mother of a lost boy, Alex Malt, who ran away from home after a massive argument. Betty still couldn't believe the story of how the mother had lost a finger. Some sort of farming accident. The parents didn't agree with the son hanging out with certain people because they were too posh for the family. They weren't. They made Betty.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?